All right, lovely job. We should all be good to start now. So, because it is so warm this evening, we've got quite a gentle, stretchy class today, because the last thing we want is any craziness when it comes to overheating. So obviously, because it is warm, if you need to rest, then rest. If you need to modify, as always, modify. It's your body. And the last thing I would want is to get any of you to do anything that doesn't feel good. So quite a traditional class for us this evening, and you'll be pleased to know we're going to start seated. So I'm just going to get back on my mat. Just take a comfortable seat, whatever that is for you. So it can be on your knees, in crossed legs. If you'd rather have your feet out in front, then you can, or one foot in front of the other. Just make yourself nice and comfortable. And to start with, we'll just do some breath. So keeping the hands relaxed in the lap, whether that's palm up or palm down on the knees, or you can have your hands in the middle. We'll just do some block breath. So inhaling for the count of 4, holding the breath in the body for the count of 4, exhaling out for the count of 4, and then holding the breath out of the body for the count of 4. So get ready, make sure the shoulders are relaxed down the back, and then inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, hold out, 2, 3, 4, in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, hold out, 2, 3, 4, in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, hold the breath out, 3, 4, in, hold, out, hold, in, hold, out, hold, in, hold, out, hold. And then we'll get the arms involved in this movement as well. So exactly the same, but as we inhale the arms up above our heads for 4, hold at the top for 4, exhale out to the sides for 4, and then hold the breath out the body at the bottom for 4. So in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, in, hold, out, hold, in, hold, out, hold, in, hold, out, hold. Excellent. Then I'm just moving a bit nearer so I don't hit my hands on the, the doors. So we'll just bring a little bit more movement into the breath this time. So inhaling the arms up above us, and then as you exhale, twist around towards the left, bringing the arms down. Inhale the hands back up above us, and then exhale, twist to the right. Inhale up above us, exhale, twist to the left. Inhale up above us, exhale, twist to the right. Inhale up to center, exhale, twist left. Inhale up through center, exhale, twist right. Inhale up through center, and then exhale, bring the hands down. So this time moving into a lateral stretch. So just stretching the left hand out to the side slightly. Take the right arm up and over and really stretch into the right ribs. Keeping the armpit open towards the ceiling. Really inhaling into the ribs, and as you exhale, reach through those fingertips. Really inhale into the ribs, exhale, reach into those fingertips. Inhale into the ribs, exhale, really reach into those fingertips. Good. Inhale back up to center, and then we'll exhale over to the other side. So taking the right hand out and the left arm up and over, keeping that left armpit open to the ceiling. Inhale into the ribs, exhale, really stretch into those fingers. Inhale into the ribs, exhale, stretch. Inhale into the ribs, exhale, stretch. Good, then inhale back up to the center. I'm going to do the next few exercises in tabletop, so any problems in the knees, feel free to put a cushion underneath the knees, or fold the yoga mat over so that you've got a double layer under the knees. Then bringing the knees underneath the hips, hands underneath the shoulders. So if you have any tightness in your wrists, then just take your hands a little bit further forward. And as you inhale, coming into cow, so letting the belly come down, the sit bones go up, push the floor away and look up. As you exhale, curve through the back, tuck the tailbone under, drop the head. Inhale as you're coming down, belly down, sit bones come up, look up. And then exhale, really tilt the tailbone, pull the belly in, arch through the back, let the head hang heavy. Inhale as we come down, pushing the floor away, gently looking up. And then exhale, really arch through that back. Exhale. Inhale as we come down. Exhale as we go up. Really trying to move every part of that spine. And then inhale as we come down. And exhale as we go up. Then come back to center. This time, moving the spine into a C shape. So we're trying to keep the shoulders and the hips as reasonably as still as possible, and just crunching one side towards one another as you extend the other side. Inhale through center, and then exhale to the other side. Really just curving the hip towards the shoulder. Inhale through center, exhale one way. Inhale through center, exhale the other way. Inhale through center, exhale one way. Inhale through center, exhale the other way. And then come back to center and bring the elbows down to the floor. We're trying to keep the hips above the knees here and just take the chest towards the floor. So you can stay in puppy pose on the elbows, reaching the chest down. If you want to go further, you can reach the arms gently out. If you can get your chest all the way to the floor, then feel free to do that. Or maybe it's your head on the floor and you just reach your chest there. Or maybe you can bring your chin to the floor. Whichever variation, just take 3 deep breaths here. And taking the weight into the elbows, lift the head, walk the hands back in, and come back up to our tabletop. Doing some nice circles through the ribs and the mid-back, trying to keep the shoulders and the hips as still as possible, so really isolating the movement to the middle of the body. Excellent. And then take that in the other direction. And then come back to center. Stretch the left arm straight out in front of you, and then stretch the right leg out behind you, and just really find balance in this posture. So think about pulling the core in, think about pulling the inner thighs towards one another, and really think about having the raised arm and leg really, really strong and long, engaging all the muscles around those limbs. Push the floor away with the right hand. Push the floor away with the left knee and foot. Bring the hand back down to the mat, bring the knee back down to the mat. Take the right arm out in front of you and the left leg out behind you. And really find stability on this side, pressing down through the knee and the foot, pressing down through the hand, stretching through the fingers and the toes of the raised limbs, really squeezing all the muscles around your arm and your leg, pulling the core in, pulling the inner thigh muscles towards one another. So you're really strong in this posture. Then put the hand down, put the knee down. Take the right leg out behind you, and then cross it over the left and drop the toes down towards the floor. And then look around towards those toes to get a really good stretch down the right side of the body. And on the next inhale, bring the head back to center. And on the exhale, lift up the leg and bring it back to all fours. Inhale the left leg out behind you, and on the exhale, cross it over the right leg and drop the toes down to the floor. Then look around towards those toes and take 3 nice deep breaths in this position. Now your next inhale, bring the head back to center. Stretch the leg out behind you and bring it back to the mat on the exhale. And then just stretching out the lower back, we'll take the hips back towards the heels and stretch out through the fingertips. Let the head release towards the mat. Keeping the arms engaged so the elbows are off the floor. Really encouraging the sit bones towards the heels. And really squeeze the shoulder blades behind you, really lengthening out the upper back. And coming back up into your tabletop position, tuck the toes and press the knees away from the floor, coming into our first downward dog. And just have a little walk in your dog. So take one heel to the floor, bending the opposite knee, and then take the other heel to the floor, bending the opposite knee. Really try and push your chest towards your thighs, lengthening through the arms and the back. And have a wiggle and a jiggle in your dog wherever you need to move. Then slowly tiptoeing up to the top of the mat, bending the knees as much as you need. Bend the knees a lot so that your belly comes onto your thighs. Either feet together or hip width, whatever feels comfortable. Let the head completely dangle whilst your hands are on the floor. Give your head a little nod, give it a little shake. Maybe roll the shoulders. Let any tensions of the day in your neck roll out. And then bending the knees a lot. Gently roll the spine all the way up with the head coming up last. Inhaling the arms up above your head. And then exhaling the hands to the heart center. Let's do a couple of flows. So inhaling the arms up towards the ceiling. And then exhale, folding forward, bending the knees, protecting the lower back. Inhale into a halfway lift. And then exhale, fold forward over the legs. Take the left foot back towards the back of the mat. Nice bend in the front knee. We're going to stay on our toes on the back leg. Pull the core and the belly in and come up so the hands are on the front knee. So we're in a high lunge. Excellent. So really trying to make sure you can still see your toes in front of your knee so that the knee is safe. We're really thinking about stretching down through the left hip flexor. So if this is enough for you, then keep the hands on the front knee and keep the body weight reasonably forwards. If you want to take a bit more, then really stretch the shoulders and the chest up, making sure the shoulders are above the hips, hands to heart center, and sink down a little bit more into the pose. If that's enough for you, stay there. If you want to go a bit further, take the hands up above the head, looking up towards the ceiling, and then do a little baby back bend. Really pulling the core in, pulling the inner thighs towards one another. One more breath in whichever option you've taken. And then exhale as you wiggle the hands back to frame the front foot. Step the back foot in slightly and lift the toes of the front foot. If you need to bend the back leg here, that's absolutely fine. You want to try and get a nice stretch down the back of the front leg. So really stretch the chest forwards. If your back is arched, it's less of a stretch. If you try and keep the back long, you'll find more of a stretch back down into the hamstring. So the front leg is nice and straight, and the back leg is bent as much as you need it to be. Good. It's like the one we do on our knees. I was just giving your knees a break because we did the whole of the start class on knees. Excellent. Wiggle those toes around if you need to. So the front foot, the more flexed it is, the bigger the stretch. The longer your back, the bigger the stretch. Good. Ground down through that front foot. Place the hands on the mat, bending the knees as much as you need, and then step back to our first plank. In our plank, really press the floor away so the shoulders are engaged. Really pull the core in and tuck the tailbone under so we don't have any banana backs. We're really, really strong through our core. Stretch the heels away from you down towards the floor. And we'll just hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring the knees to the mat. Take the chest and the chin to the mat. And then wriggle forwards into cobra. Good stuff, guys. Opening the chest in cobra. Really stretching down the front body. Pull the core in. Nice big inhale, and then exhale, roll down towards the mat, tuck the toes, take the hips back towards the heels, and then press back up into downward facing dog again. Couple of breaths in down dog. And tiptoe your toes all the way to the front of the mat. Bending your knees as much as you need to. Inhale into a halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward, really relaxing the body onto the thighs. And then inhale the hands all the way up to the top. And then exhale, hands back to heart center. Good, other side. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold forward, really bending those knees. Inhale, halfway lift, long back. Exhale, fold forward. This time taking the right leg back, staying on the toes. Make sure we have a nice bend in the front knee. Pull in the core, and then inhale up into a high lunge. So again, your three options here. You can either have your hands on your knees, hands at heart center, or take the arms up above the head, look up and do a little back bend. Whichever variation, feel the bend in your front knee. Really engage the back heel down towards the floor. Nice big inhale. Nice big exhale, relax into the posture. Nice big inhale. And then exhale, float the hands down to frame the front foot. Take a little step in with the back leg. Good. And then stretch out through that front leg. So lift the toes if you can. You can bend the back knee as much as you need. Really keeping that back long. So we're really stretching the chest down towards the knee. Nice big inhale. Exhale, see if you can go a little bit deeper. Excellent. Placing the hands onto the mat. Ground down through the front foot and then step it back to our plank. Again, make this plank really, really strong. Press the ground away so the shoulders are engaged. Tuck the tailbone under, pull the belly in, and then encourage the heels towards the floor so the legs are strong and engaged. Brilliant. Keep breathing for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring the knees down, bring the chest and the chin down to the floor, and then wiggle your way forward into cobra. Really trying to elongate the body as much along the front as you are on the back. So really elongating both sides, stretching that chest forward, and then exhale down to the mat, tuck the toes, take the hips back towards the heels into a moment of child's pose. And then continue your way up to downward facing dog again. Couple of breaths in downward facing dog. And then looking forward, tiptoe your toes all the way back to the top of the mat. Inhale into a nice halfway lift, really long back. And then bend the knees as we fold over the legs. And then inhale the arms all the way up to the top. Hands back to heart center. Good. A few twists next. So inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Bend the knees a lot. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees a lot. Then take the left leg back. Again, we stay on the toes of the left leg. Bring the left hand to the inside of the front foot and then reach the right arm up towards the sky into twist. Good. Really keeping that bend in the front knee. As you inhale, trying to elongate the spine, and as you exhale, try to open the twist further towards the ceiling. One more inhale, really elongate the spine. Exhale, really reaching up with those fingers towards the ceiling. Good. Windmill that top hand down to frame the front foot. Step the front foot back into downward facing dog. Bring the hips forward into plank. Either do knees, chest, chin, or come down through chaturanga and then into cobra or upward facing dog. Whichever you've chosen, then take the hips up, come over the toes into downward facing dog again. Raise the left leg up behind you, bending at the knee, open the hip up towards the ceiling. So really trying to stretch those left toes over the back towards your right shoulder. Really feeling the diagonal stretch from the right shoulder through to the left hip and knee. Excellent. Then bringing the hips back to level. Really hug that knee into the chest. Bring it all the way forwards in between the hands, giving it a little tug if you need to. Then inhale the arms up above the head and exhale the hands to heart center. Now, if you're feeling a bit wobbly today, drop the back knee. In fact, everybody drop the back knee. This is how we're going to get into it. Then you can decide how deep you go. So take a nice big inhale here. And on the exhale, twist round towards your left, trying to get your right elbow somewhere near your right knee, so you're twisting. If you want to stay in low lunge, you can. If you want to raise the back knee, raise the back knee. Concentrate on your balance and concentrate on the twist. Really inhaling to elongate the spine, exhaling to twist. Inhale to elongate, exhale, twist. Inhale to elongate, exhale, twist. Good. Inhale, come back to center. If you have the bottom knee on the front floor, raise it up. Bring the hands down towards the front of the mat and step the back foot forwards. Excellent. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Bend the knees and inhale all the way to the top. Exhale, hands to heart center. Other side. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward, really letting the upper body relax on the legs. Then take the right leg back into lunge. This time bring the right hand to the floor so it's at the inside arch of the left foot. Keeping that nice bend in the front knee. Take a nice big inhale. On the exhale, lift up the left arm towards the ceiling into your stretch. So inhale to really try and elongate from the back foot all the way to the top of the head. And then exhale, see if you can open your twist. Inhale to make yourself really long. Exhale, twist. Inhale, exhale, twist. Then bring that hand all the way back down to the mat. Step back to downward facing dog. You can either rest in downward facing dog or take your vinyasa. If you're doing your vinyasa, come forward into plank. Either knees, chest, chin, or down to chaturanga, into your cobra, or your upward facing dog. Nice big inhale here. Really stretch the chest forward. Make sure the shoulders are relaxed down the back. Exhale, come up and over into your downward facing dog. This time, float the right leg up. Bend at the knee and open that hip towards the ceiling. Really trying to reach those right toes over the back towards the left shoulder. Checking in with the shoulders, make sure they're still level. Nice big inhale here, really stretching. And then exhale, bring the hips back to center. Hug that knee into your tummy and then bring it to the front of the mat, giving it a little tug if you need to. Coming back down into your lunge, we're going to lower the back knee down towards the ground. Inhale the arms up above the head. Exhale them to heart center. Your back toe can be tucked or untucked, whatever you find more comfortable. Take a nice big inhale and then twist around towards the right this time. Hooking the left knee, the left elbow over the front knee. If you want to go up into the higher lunge, then tuck the back toes and lift the back knee. Entirely your choice which one you want to pick. Good. So inhaling, really elongate from the top of your head all the way down to the heel of the back foot. Exhale, see if you can twist a little bit more. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. Excellent. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, bring the hands down towards the mat. And then step the back foot forwards. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Bend the knees a lot and inhale all the way up to the top. Exhale, hands back to heart center. Excellent, good stuff. So coming to the middle of your mats, we'll do a little balancing series. So start by really grounding down through your feet. Just feel your feet. Feel whether the weight is in the heels, the balls of the feet, the toes. Have a little sway forwards and backwards, side to side, and try and find that sweet spot where the weight is evenly spread throughout the foot. Then closing the eyes, roll the shoulders down the back, let the palms face forward. Imagine your ankles, your knees, your hips, all stacked directly above one another. Your ribs, your collarbones, your head, all neatly stacked directly above the pelvis. Completely centered and completely strong. And keeping that strength in your mind's eye, take the weight into the right foot and come onto the toes of the left foot. Maybe bring the hands together in front of your heart, really pressing those hands together so that you have some strength in the arms, and then bring the left foot to the inside of the calf, so into low tree. Take a nice big inhale here, really reach up nice and tall as you press down firmly with the foot on the mat, making your tree really strong. Good, couple more breaths. If you want to challenge yourself, try closing your eyes. It's a really, really good way of getting messages from your feet to your brain and opening up new neural pathways. It's also really good for testing your balance. Excellent. Release the hands, release the foot. So moving over to the other side. So again, start by finding that sweet spot where your balance is on your feet. And then really press down through the ground and take the majority of the weight in your left foot. Bringing the other foot to your right toes. I lost my words there for a second. Then bring the hands in front of your heart space. Really pressing the hands together so the arms and the shoulders are engaged. Really pressing down firmly through the left foot. Bring the right foot to the inside of your calf. Find a point of focus. Imagine those joints all stacked on top of one another. Make sure the leg muscles of the standing leg are completely engaged. Squeeze the bum muscle in, squeeze the inner thigh, the thigh muscle, the hamstring, the calf, maybe even lift the kneecap up. Make sure that leg is really strong. A few more breaths in this posture. Closing your eyes if you fancy a challenge. Noticing which leg was easier, which leg takes more focus. Nice big inhale. And then exhale, release the hands, release the foot. Okay, so the next one, I'm going to show you it first. So we bring the knee up in front of us 3 times. And then we take the leg long and we do 3 little pulses with the leg long. Then we take the knee out to like a 45-degree angle, 3 little lifts. And then we take it long, 3 little lifts. Then the last one we'll do is taking the foot out behind us, but keeping our shoulders up above our hips. We do 3 little lifts with a bent leg. And then we do 3 very tiny little lifts with a straight leg. So really concentrate on keeping that strength and that alignment. If we're going like this, we're not getting the same exercise. So really trying to keep that tallness in the body. If you need to hold on to something, if you're feeling unbalanced today, then hold on to something. So we'll start with the left leg. 3 little lifts with the knee. And then take that leg long and 3 little lifts with the whole leg. Good. Bend the knee back in, take it to 45. 3 little lifts with the knee at 45 degrees. Excellent. And then take the leg long, 3 lifts with the leg long. Then take the leg behind you, keeping those shoulders upright. 3 little lifts with the bent leg. And then 3 little lifts with the straight leg. So tiny movements. Beautiful. Then we'll come to the other side. So find your balance first. Really ground down through that left foot and then raise the right knee. 3 little lifts with that knee. And then take the leg long, 3 little lifts with the long leg. Then take the knee out to the diagonal, 3 little lifts. Then take the leg out long, 3 little lifts. Good. Take the leg back, 3 little lifts, keeping those shoulders above the hips. And then take the leg long, 3 very tiny little lifts. Excellent. It's great for toning up the legs, you know, with all this beach weather we've been having, it's important to do things for our legs. So next balancing one, so we're building on some of the stuff we've done already. Really feeling the floor with your feet. This flow, I'm going to show you first, is we bring the knee up in front of us, hands at heart center. Then we rock forward from the hips into flamingo. Really squeeze the knees together to give yourself more stability. And then we're going to stretch the back leg out. And then with that same control as we went in, stretch the back knee forwards and then pivot back up and then put the foot down. Then we'll do the other side. Okay? So somewhere in the middle of your mat so you don't kick anything. Really ground down through those feet. Bring the hands to your heart center. Excellent. Ground down through that left foot. Really press the left foot into the earth. Really making yourself tall, lifting up out of the waist. Bring the right knee up in front of you. Find a point of focus, and then keeping that shape with the knee, just tilt from the hips until you come forward into flamingo pose. So the shoulders come forward. Really stretch, keep the back nice and long. Really press down with the grounded leg. Squeeze the inner thighs towards one another. Then keeping the hips level, slowly and gently, stretch that right leg out behind you and point the toes so that leg is really engaged. Nice big inhale here. On the exhale, slowly move that leg back in towards the other knee. So we'll come back into flamingo pose. Take a nice big another inhale. On the exhale, pull the core in and pivot yourself back up again. And then place that foot down. Good. Challenging, balancing posture to do that with so much control. You guys did brilliantly. So let's move to the other leg. Really pressing down through the ground. For any right-handed people, this side should be easier. Bring the left knee up in front of you. Find your point of focus. Really reach up out of the waist, make your back really long. Crown of the head up towards the ceiling. Nice big inhale. Exhale, pivot from the hips, coming into flamingo. Squeeze the inner thighs towards one another. Elongate the back. Neck nice and long. Pull the core muscles in. Press the hands together so that the arms are engaged. Take a nice big inhale, and on the exhale, slowly stretch that back leg out behind you. Pointing the toes so the back leg is engaged. Squeezing the inner thighs towards one another to give you stability. One more breath here. Take a nice big inhale, stretch out through the toes. On the exhale, bring the leg back in so that your knees are together. Squeeze the inner thighs towards one another. Another big inhale, and then exhale. Pivot as you come back up, and then exhale the leg down. Good. Have a little shake out of the hands. Have a little kick with the feet. Did a brilliant job, well done. That was really, really good, guys. Right, so coming to the tops of your mat, take your feet out as wide as your mat. Toes pointing out towards the corners. We'll come down into yogi squat. So whatever that yogi squat looks like for you, it could be hands on knees and the bum going back as though you were going to sit down on the seat behind you. It could be that maybe you can come down a bit further and maybe bring the fingertips towards the floor. You might be able to come all the way down into some sort of version of Malasana, whether that be with your heels up or heels on the ground. As long as your ankles, your knees and your hips are flexed, you're getting what is good for your unique anatomy. So have a couple of breaths here. Excellent. Then bringing the left hand towards the floor, whichever shape you're in, reach up with the right arm. And then bring the right arm down and reach up with the left arm. Bring the left arm back down, reach up with the right arm. And then as you bring that hand back down, reach up with the left arm. Good. Bring both hands towards the mat. And then either step or jump yourself back into plank. And then from plank, press your hips up into a really long downward dog. Doesn't matter whether your feet are or your heels are anywhere near the mat. Just really stretch out through the shoulders, trying to get the chest towards the thighs. Knees can be as bent as they need to be, but really elongate from your fingertips all the way up to your sit bones. Then inhale as you raise the left leg up towards the ceiling, and exhale as you bring it forwards, place it down on the mat, and gently come into pigeon. If this causes any pain in your front knee at all, then instead of pigeon, you can roll onto your bum, hold your foot, hold your knee, and just rock into the hip. If you're comfortable in pigeon and you don't have any knee issues, then just relax into your pigeon pose. Staying awake and alert, so no sleeping pigeons today. So keep those shoulders up, keep the chest reaching forwards. Equally, if you need a cushion under your bum, then put a cushion under your bum. Make yourself comfortable. 3 deep breaths in pigeon. If you're sat rocking your leg, holding your foot and your knee, then allow that leg to come back to the ground and take the other leg up, foot to knee, and rock the other leg. If you're in pigeon, then tuck the back toes, press through the hands, and step back into downward facing dog. Then raise the right leg up behind you, bring it forwards, and come into pigeon on the other side. Excellent. Whichever one you do, you're getting a good stretch in the hips, and that's the most important thing. So keeping those shoulders back, chest stretching forwards. If you need to support the bent leg, then feel free to support under the bum on the bent leg. Take a nice big inhale, and then try and relax into the posture. If you've got knobbly knees like me, you might find it easier to be on the toes of the back foot as well. Modify wherever you need to modify. And then rolling onto the hip if you're in pigeon, bring the back leg forward so that you're kind of in a cross-legged position. If you're rocking the hip, then obviously just come into cross legs. We're just going to do a few movements through the middle body. So hands on the knees, starting with cat-cow. So as you inhale, really stretch the chest forwards. So we're coming forwards and arching out the lower back. As you exhale, really round through the upper spine, pull the belly in, drop the head. So inhale as you come forwards, really stretching that chest forward, looking up. And then exhale, arching through the top of the spine, really rounding, pulling the belly in. Inhale as you come forwards. And then exhale as you round. Then the next one, coming back to center, moving through the hips, the ribs. I'm always good with body part names. So moving through the ribs, doing nice big circles. And then take those circles in the other direction. Brilliant. And then coming back to center, we'll just do those lateral stretches again. So going over to the left to start with, really reaching through those fingertips and feeling whether that feels any different to the start of class. Then coming over to the other side, exactly the same thing. Reaching through those fingertips, keeping the armpit open to the ceiling, and see if that side feels any different to the start of class. Inhaling up, exhaling over. Inhaling up, exhaling over. Good. Inhaling up, exhaling over. Inhaling up, exhaling over. Then inhaling up through center. You can have a choice tonight whether you want to do a seated twist or whether you want to do a reclined twist. So if you're doing a seated twist, we're going to take the foot up and over the knee with the bottom leg out long, and then hug around towards the top leg. If you want to do a reclined twist, you completely can. So recline on your mat, hugging the knees into the chest and taking the knees over to the left, looking out over the right shoulder. So whichever way you want to twist tonight, it's up to you. But as you twist, as you inhale, really try to lengthen the spine. And as you exhale, really relax into the twist. Inhale to really lengthen, exhale to twist. Inhale to lengthen, exhale to twist. And then inhaling the head back to center, pulling the core in, move your legs back to center as well. So if you're laid down, roll the legs back to center, maybe stretch them out long. If you're seated, bring the left leg in this time and bring that up and over. And then turn around towards that leg and give it a hug. If you're laid on the ground, hug the knees in towards the chest and roll them over towards the right. Then inhale to really lengthen, exhale to twist. Inhale to lengthen, exhale, twist. Inhale, lengthen, exhale, twist. And then gently coming back to center. Untangle the legs. I've made a schoolgirl error and I can't quite see the clock from here. Just wanted to check on timings, lovely. Okay, so everybody coming sideways back onto your mat. So really place the feet down and roll back down onto your mat, arms down by your sides. We'll do a few bridges. So really press down through the feet. As you inhale, tuck the tailbone under and gradually roll the spine up away from the mat. Really pressing the hips up towards the ceiling, really pressing down through the feet, squeezing the inner thighs towards one another. Then exhale, roll the spine back down onto the mat. Inhale to lift it up, bone by bone. Really pressing the hips up towards the ceiling, squeezing the glutes, squeezing the inner thighs. And then exhale, roll the spine back down onto the mat. Inhale as we go up. Really pushing the hips up at the top of the movement, arching the back, squeezing the glutes, squeezing the inner thighs. And then exhale, slowly rolling the spine back down, bone by bone by bone, with the tailbone going down last. Then stretch the left leg out long. And really engage the foot, so flex the foot so the toes are coming up towards your nose. And then hug the right knee in towards your chest and interlace your fingers over the top of the shin. Your right foot is completely relaxed. Engage the left leg again and then pull the knee in towards your shoulder. So the knee's reaching towards the armpit. Squeeze, make sure the head and the shoulders are on the mat. Squeeze once more. Then release the fingers, release the leg down to the mat and then pull the left leg in. Interlace the fingers over the top of the shin. Let the left foot be completely relaxed. Engage the right leg, flex the toes up towards the nose. Really strong right leg. Take a nice big inhale. On the exhale, pull the knee in towards your left shoulder, your left armpit. Nice big inhale and then exhale, see if you can pull it a little bit more. Keeping that right leg nice and engaged, really reaching through the heel and curling those toes up towards your nose. Squeeze the shoulder blades behind your back, relaxing the head and the shoulders onto the mat. And then release that leg out long. Then hug both knees in. This time, lift your torso up slightly, hug your elbows over the tops of your knees, and then roll back down onto the mat so the head and the shoulders are supported, and squeeze the knees in towards your tummy. Nice big inhale and then squeeze again, really squeezing those shoulder blades together behind your back, trying to elongate the spine down onto the mat. And then release. And taking the feet straight up towards the ceiling, arms down by your sides, 3 deep breaths in, legs up the wall. And then last pose of your choice. You can either bring your knees in towards the chest and do a few circles in both directions. Maybe you want to hold onto the feet and come into a happy baby. Maybe you want to bust out a shoulder stand or a wheel. Whatever you fancy doing this evening, 3 breaths in that chosen pose. And gently release the feet and bring the feet back down to the mat. Release whatever pose it was that you were doing. And come down into Savasana. So stretching the legs out long, bringing the arms down by the sides. Any problems in the lower back, or if the lower back's not comfortable, bring the feet to the mat, let the knees roll in. Or bring the soles of the feet together and let the knees roll out to the side. Otherwise, legs out long, feet completely relaxed. Tuck the shoulder blades underneath the torso so that they're completely comfortable, and gently close your eyes. Then take your awareness to the right hand. Stretch out the fingers, make a fist. Stretch out the fingers, make a fist. Stretch out the fingers, make a fist. Really squeeze all the muscles in the right arm, all the way up to the shoulder. And then completely relax the whole right arm and hand. Take the awareness to the left arm, the left hand. Stretch out the fingers, make a fist. Stretch out the fingers, make a fist. Stretch out the fingers, make a fist. And then really squeeze all the muscles of the left arm. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And then completely relax and release. Then point the right toes, flex the foot. Point the right toes, flex the foot. Point the right toes, flex the foot. And then squeeze all those muscles around the right leg. Really squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And then completely relax and release that whole leg. Moving to the left leg. Point the toes, flex the foot. Point the toes, flex the foot. Point the toes, flex the foot. And then squeeze all of those muscles around the left leg. Really squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And then completely relax and release. Both feet, point the toes, flex the foot. Point the toes, flex the foot. Point the toes, flex the foot. And then squeeze both leg muscles all the way up to your hips and your pelvis. Really squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And completely relax and release. And then the lower torso, all the tummy muscles, the back muscles, really squeeze them all together. The lower back coming closer towards the mat. Really squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And then relax and release. Then moving to the chest muscles, the upper torso. Squeeze the chest muscles, squeeze the shoulder blades behind you. Really squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And then completely relax and release. Both hands, stretch the fingers and make a fist. Stretch the fingers, make a fist. Stretch the fingers, make a fist. Really squeeze both arms all the way up to the shoulders and then hunch those shoulders up towards the ears. Really squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And then completely relax and release. And then finally, all the muscles of the face. Really squeeze them together. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And then completely relax and release. Your whole body energized and yet completely relaxed on your mat. Then gently bring the awareness back to the body. Maybe wiggling the fingers and toes. Maybe having a big stretch. Maybe hugging the knees in towards your chest. Move the body in whichever way it wants to move. And then come over onto your side. And come up to seated. And we're finished with 3 deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. So when you're ready, in your comfy seat with your hands in your lap or on your knees, nice big inhale. Excellent. Thank you for coming and moving and breathing with me this evening. I hope you enjoyed it. And before I forget as well, because I know obviously that emails haven't necessarily made it through to everybody, or it was quite a long one, so you might have got bored halfway through. But Kerry and I are doing another workshop on Saturday if you want something to do Saturday morning. So all the details are up on my website, withtracyb.com.